Welcome everybody to this week's live event. We're so grateful that you're here. Of course, if you're viewing this, you're most likely in our free group. And if you're not in our free group, you should be. She's creating an empire, and you can drop a 1 in the chat if you are watching this live, and a 2 if you're watching the replay. My name is Melanie Greenough. I'm the CEO and founder of She's Creating an Empire, where we teach women how to build business brands and bank accounts that they love. Now, our goal is to help women be able to move their income into an online stream or streams so that they can work where they want, with whomever they choose, whenever they please. And that's really the goal. What we want for ourselves, we want for all of you. And we have the results to show it. So one of the things that I absolutely love is that within our community, we have over 10,000 students now globally and in multiple countries. We're talking Australia, Canada, New Zealand, US, Germany. We have people now in, oh my gosh, I'm going to blank out, Panama, all over the world. But basically what's happening is that there's a movement of women who have decided that they're going to learn online business building strategies so that they can A, remove the glass ceiling from their income, but B, actually be able to spend the time that they want with their families and their loved ones when they set out to start earning money in the first place. So my story, just a quick reminder for those of you that are brand new here and you're unfamiliar with our kind of community. I literally started out, I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. I, had become a very faith-filled human, and I wanted to be there to raise my daughter. I really didn't want to put her in childcare. And so right from the moment I got pregnant, my entire goal was to be able to stay home with her. Well, fast forward a year, I end up in a woman's shelter. I had no car, no place to live, no job, no money, literally $5 to my name. And I was struggling to get ahead at all. You guys can imagine the trauma of having a 1-year-old daughter in a woman's shelter. Like literally it was horrifying. And I remember meeting with the woman there, and she was helping me get a social security check that would help me get my first apartment or my own apartment with her. And she treated me so horribly. She treated me like I was a leech on society, like I was a beggar in the street. And there's nothing wrong with begging in the street. I'm just saying that it was awful, the judgment that flowed from her. And I remember sitting there thinking, I will never put my financial well-being in another human's hands again. Now, I know that there's some people that will take that the wrong way to assume that, I don't trust men. And you'll hear people talk about women who are self-funded, like they don't need a man. Quite the contrary is true. I'm married to the love of my life. It's our anniversary today. We've built a dynasty together, an empire, but make no mistake, with or without him, I will be fine. Would I be heartbroken? For sure. If something happened, would I be financially devastated? Hell to the double no. So this is what I want for the women that are here in our community. I want for you to be able to build a life that includes the ones that you love, that includes your spouse, your other half, but also puts you firmly in the driving seat of your own life financially, so that you are empowered to make better decisions for you, your loved ones, etc. Now, fast forward a few years, I opened a couple businesses, built 2 traditional businesses, 44 employees before, $65,000 a month in overhead before I made a dime. I was struggling to get ahead. I had done all of that so I'd have more control over my time, and yet I had less time than ever before. I was working 18 hours a day. When I wasn't at work, I was on the phone or stressing out about money. It was not a good scenario. I was pastoring a church. I had 3 foster kids under the age of 7, my own kid, 2 dogs, single mom, super, super busy. I am a driven human, and I wanted to be able to build a better life for my daughter, right? That's how this all started. But the reality was my business owned me. I had an adult daycare center, and I paid my employees before I paid myself, which is very common for small business owners. Then I was introduced to an online income source. And I remember the night that I saw it, I thought, why wouldn't everyone do this? Why wouldn't everyone figure out how to market a product or a service online and be able to create an income, specifically a leverage style income, meaning income that pays you over and over and over again, and or doesn't require time, effort to be in the moment when you make the money. And so I did start down that road. Fast forward a month, I replaced my income. Within 3 months, I was making 3 times what I had made at anywhere ever. Within my first year, I think I did $380,000, $376,000, and was well on our way to our first million. That's where I met Greg, by the way. That's where I met my one true love, my amazing husband. And we have been building together ever since. Now, remember, I build beside him, I build with him, but I do not necessarily just hands off, give him the money to run. And that's where I think we get into trouble as women, because we're trained how to let the man handle the finances. And you might be the woman in the house that handles the finances. That's fine. But really, finances are a partnership, especially in a marriage, or should be. So fast forward, guys, I've spoken on stages all over the world. GoPro, the largest network marketing stage in the world. I've spoken with Bob Proctor, Les Brown, Danny Johnson, been on same stages as Tony Robbins. And what's happened for me is that I have come to the conclusion there's really only 2 things you need to do to change your life. One, you have to obviously get your mindset straight, but you have to learn how to generate leads. You've got to know how to drive traffic. We're talking about how to generate 100 leads in just 5 days. We're going to show you that today in this event. You're going to hear from somebody who's been a student for 5 years and now is our senior coach within the community, and what she's done to build her brand online. And outside of lead gen, you have to know how to turn those prospects into customers. You got to know how to flip that lead into a prospect, and then of course into a paying customer. So we're going to go through that today. But I really need for you to start with the fact that we are all, here for a common purpose. So we're going to go through the lead attraction formula today. And I really want you to understand that as you're going through the motions of learning how to build an online business, lead generation is really the foundation of it is brand building. So if you're taking notes, I want you to write down brand building, because lead generation is useless if you don't have a brand or a funnel to plug them into. And so we're going to start off with the funnel, the customer acquisition funnel. People have to become aware of you. So at the very top where you see the top awareness, that's where people need to know or come to know that you exist, that you're an option to them. Then they're going to consider whether they want to do business with you, whether they want to learn from you, buy from you, whatever. There's a consideration phase. Once they've considered, they form a preference. And the preference phase is very crucial for you to pour on the personality and the branding so they really get to know you and like you and trust you. That's when they're going to purchase. You can see that that's the next stage in this funnel. From purchase, you want to create loyalty with your clients. Who wants to take a guess at how we create loyalty? We create loyalty with what? We have to generate results. So if you want somebody to be loyal, people aren't loyal to a pen or a car or whatever. People are loyal to people, and they're loyal to results that they get. And of course, once you get loyal fans, you can actually turn them into raving fans who actually advocate for you. Now, the word advocacy means standing in the gap for and talking for another human. If I'm advocating for you, I am actually defending your rights and telling people about you, etc. Well, you want your fans or your clients to be raving fans. You want them advocating for you, sharing the word, bringing other referrals, etc. Because referrals, for one, is the fastest form of money that you can get in the market. If you want to increase your income, get referrals from your current customers. It's by far the fastest way to create a warm lead. Now, we're going to talk about the law of branding and follow-up. And this is where most people drop the ball. they're busy trying to message people or call people or whatever, and they're forgetting that they have to have a brand, which means a flavor or an idea about them that allows for followers to follow you. You see, if people don't know what you're about, what you do, why would they follow you? If they don't know what you stand for, then how do they know what you stand against? And then how do they know if they even want to be in your camp, right? On your side with you for the ride. So branding is very important. And of course, the fortune is in the follow-up. Now, the key to getting people to go through your funnel is sharing your vision and your mission. It's super important that you communicate your vision and mission. For example, She's Creating an Empire is here to help women build business brands and bank accounts that they love. We're on a mission to impact 1 million women's lives with the financial freedom, right, that they need and is required. Shanda, who you're going to hear from in a minute, has a mission to help 100 women make 100K this year. That's her vision and her mission, right? So when you have a vision and a mission that's crystal clear, then you can share it with your audience and your audience can respond. I want you to start thinking about yourself as a broadcaster, because people do business with who they know, like, and trust. But if they don't know you, they can't like you. And if they can't like you, they can't trust you. And so you actually break down the entire formula when you're not forthcoming with people, especially on social media, with an authentic idea of who you are. So you want to really be yourself. The key to all of this is learning who you are. And I realize, guys, that most of us, especially women, are taught to kind of hide who we are, like don't do too much or say too much or show too much. Because of the chance of ridicule or rejection, or maybe being unacceptable. I'm going to tell you the opposite is true when it comes to branding. All of the big brands out there have a crystal clear message about who they are and what they stand for, right? Like, I'm a black sheep person. If you've never fit in anywhere, perfect. You're my people. If you've never understood the system that they're trying to get you to do, I get it. I'm with you. If you've never wanted to, if you've always wanted to be home with your family instead of working a job you hate, I'm your girl, right? Like, if you hate that you've been lied to about how to make money, right? If you get a good job, so you get a good education, so you can get a good job and everything's going to be just fine. If you know that that's not true and you're sick and tired of hearing it and you want something different, you're my people, right? So because I'm clear on what my brand is and what I stand for loyalty, for authenticity. I stand for big results, big goals, big dreams, wanting more, get your hopes up. Faith, belief, abundance. These are all things that I stand for. And because you know that, then you can easily plug into what I'm doing because you want to be a part of it. But my question is, does your audience know what you stand for? Have you done the work? If you guys have done the Financial Fitness Academy in the past, which is now going to be, I'm so excited, you guys, we're releasing our brand new course, which is the Online Income Accelerator, which is kind of replacing the Financial Fitness, similar material. But the Online Income Accelerator is going to go through, breaking down your brand, figuring out what your messaging is, figuring out who you are within that. And the more you get to know yourself, the clearer your message is going to be. Now, I will warn you, this is a journey, not a destination. People are like, oh, my brand is this. Nope, your brand is evolving every day because you're evolving every day. So allow yourself the time and energy and effort it takes to build a brand, a long-term brand. Now, tips to growing your brand, you got to be consistent. You got to start. If you want to start generating 100 leads every 5 days, you got to be consistent. Guys, I just took a break from social media. I'm about to jump back in. That's okay to do that. It's okay to take breaks, but just know the more consistent you are, the more leads you're going to generate. Now, as far as branding, of course, there's the color, create a sheet. You can go to Canva and do that. You want to pick and use consistent fonts, and you want to have good pictures, right? These are, take the time to go get some good pictures done. If you can't get good pictures done, get your friend to take some good pictures. But the reality is you do want to have clear images that you can use. These are the visual aids for your brand. So when people see this color pink, they know it's me. When they see the head on She's Creating an Empire, the woman with the crown, they know it's me, right? It's consistent branding. What is your consistent branding? Now, it's very important that you do not compare, but instead you can imitate. What does that mean? Well, a lot of times when we start building our brand, we feel bad about the fact that we're not as far along as somebody else. You might look at Shanda's social media or my online presence, right? I have 50,000 followers across the platforms and think, well, I'm never going to get there, or I'm too late, or all the things, or I can never do it like that. But the reality is you can do it like that. But whenever you start something, you're usually not good at it, right? When you start something, you're not good at it, but you have to start. And you can find people to imitate that will allow for you to really start to clarify what works for you and what doesn't. So allow yourself, don't copy them. I'm not saying steal their stuff. I'm saying find something that resonates with you and start doing posts like that so that you can learn as you go. Now, it's important to acknowledge that, of course, with lead generation, selling starts at hello. And we want to make a friend first. We don't want to jump in and start selling people cold. That's not the goal. What we want to do is say hello and start a conversation around, them becoming a prospect and then turning them into a buying customer. So you want to share your message in a way that allows for people to respond, right? We don't sell people what they need. We sell them what they want. It's very, very subtle difference. People might need an education on how to build a brand, but what do they want? They want leads. So right now, I just sold you what you wanted and not what you needed, right? Yeah, I'm going to show you how to get 100 leads, but if you don't have a brand backing it, those 100 leads are going to go to waste, right? But you don't know you need a brand. So I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, and I'm still going to show you how to do it. It's not a bait and switch. I'm going to show you how to do it, but I'm also going to give you what you need, and that is the process of building a brand. And that's exactly how you need to think about your own customers. Now, when you're exposing your products and services, it can take 7 exposures to get a yes. 7 exposures. This is not them seeing you on social. That could take 100 exposures. It can take, and Shanda was in radio, she can give you some of those stats here in a minute. But understand that it takes multiple exposures to be able to go through this process. And of course, objections are buying signals. So don't give up just because people are giving you the, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I'm not good at that stuff. What if I can try and I can't do it? Because the reality is people are really good at creating reasons why not. Part of our brand needs to be, what if I do it and succeed? So, and you have to ask yourself this question yourself. If you're trying to get to 5 figures or 6 figures or 7 figures, and you've got a little bit of that, like, what if I do it and it doesn't work thing going on, you have to ask yourself, well, what if you do it and it does work? What would you do then? What would actually happen then? Now, to sell without selling, you want to connect your purpose to their wants and needs and ask yourself, if you do not help them, who will? So I'm going to bring up Shanda Wright. She's a senior coach with She's Creating an Empire. She's been my student, my client in my coaching programs for 5 years. She is by far the most improved player over the period of time that I've been doing this. And this year has been a breakthrough year on this specific slide. So Shanda started out being terrible at social media. Her first live that she ever did, I made her do it. And she literally said, Melanie made me do it. So do you guys understand that, she didn't show up a real superstar, right? She's getting great traction on social media. She's generating leads every single day through her social now. But 5 years ago when she started, she was like, I'm not going live. I'm like, you are going live. And here's what you're going to say. And so she did that. But Shanda, if you don't mind, I just want you to, Sydney, that happened to me too. Yeah, that's what happens, guys. I got to get you. You guys want success, right? So I got to get you doing the things that you need to do to get the success. And now Sydney too, you're crushing it. Sydney's been in the Momentum group this is her 2nd year in our 16-week accelerator Momentum group, which is so amazing. And she's now cracked the code on her social media as well. But Shanda, if you don't mind sharing with everybody kind of where you were mentally with lead gen on social, where you've gotten to, and your breakthrough on your mission. And I want you to really, just take the time to explain. You've got maybe like 5 to 7 minutes to talk about how that has evolved for you and what happened to your sales in December when you got connected to your why and your mission.
Okay, thanks, Mel. I'm so glad to be here, you guys. Prior to where I am now, prior to meeting Melanie at the beginning of my journey, when it came to my social media, I mean, I felt like it was something my boss forced me to do and then micromanaged. So they were saying, oh, you can't share that. That's from a competitor, or you can't post that because that's not in alignment with what our social media policies have. And I just didn't understand, but I knew that, quite frankly, I didn't know any of it. I knew that Melanie had a life that I wanted, and I was willing to be coachable. So when it comes to this process, it doesn't even have to be something that you want to do. Sometimes it's just a necessary evil, right? For me, it was a necessary evil because Melanie told me to. And then I kind of just started making a mess. I started sharing my journey. And what I can tell you is my most favorite point of view on this topic is to consider yourself documenting a journey, right? Fall in love with where you're going to be 5, 10, 20 years from now. We can do anything in 20 years, you guys. So even if you just have to extend the time frame, like envision yourself as, for me, I wanted to be on stages. I wanted to be speaking around the world. I wanted to live somewhere warm. And I wanted to be around like-minded people, collaborating on business ideas and strategies and just talking, bigger game instead of talking about people. Yes, thank you. Follow me, Shanda.life on Instagram. And what I realized was that, and I think it's Ed Milet that says this. He says, document your journey. Document your journey. There's people that are going to start watching you now that won't join for several years. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're selling. Maybe you don't even have something you want to sell yet. But I want to share this article I found. Forbes just wrote an article about how the digital marketing landscape is changing in 2023. And it says one of the best keys that companies can do is work with brand ambassadors and influencers, because they, more than 75% of brands plan to budget for influencer marketing. Brand ambassadors, people with personal brands, promote businesses are more likely than a traditional ad that pops up on someone's social media feed. Brand ambassadors are friendly and familiar faces offering product recommendations, which can boost a brand's authenticity. So as you build your brand, not only do you become more profitable in the marketplace, more advantageous in the marketplace, but anyone you choose to partner with now is going to have, another value add. So whether you're looking for to become a coach or to move someone else's product and service, the more that your brand is something that people can connect to, the more that it's going to be relevant as, this world continues to adapt. So for me, I just started making a mess, started making the posts. I started talking about the things that really lit me up and that I was learning and applying, trying to equip and bring my audience along with me. But I was terrified. My boss was checking it, and I was going to get fired if I had any side hustles or additional streams of income. I had to generate my own leads for my old job. And I wasn't confident in myself. I had really bad self-worth issues. And so on the other side of that, once I got comfortable on social media, I was like, okay, I can do this thing. I can do this thing. And I was doing Facebook Lives a lot. And then Facebook changed their algorithms and no one was seeing my lives. And I was like, oh no. And then Reels showed up and then TikTok and, it just kept changing, and then YouTube. And so it became this journey of like, I have to figure this thing out. And I was watching people go viral. I was watching people build businesses and brands that paid them very, very well, but that they like literally just from posting their life, posting their content, posting what it is that mattered to them. And so people could know, like, and trust them, and then brands could partner with them and could bring that to the marketplace. So it's powerful. It's important. I actually think it's the thing we should be teaching in school, because like Melanie said, when people know what you stand for, they can also know what you stand against. And I didn't even know what I stood for, let alone what I stood against. And then when I decided to live a value-based life and to show up that way online, I was like, I stand for love. that means I have to stand against hate. I stand for respect, which means I have to stand against disrespect. And that will be challenged, I promise you. But when you can really connect to the things that are above and beyond any one person, situation, or environment, you can just stand for what you stand for and stand against what you stand against and do it publicly as well as privately. It creates a sense of self-confidence that I never had before, because I was like, I don't care if Susie Q 1823 likes my stuff, and I don't care if my mom likes my stuff. I care that I am showing up, standing for my values and standing against the things that come against it. And so it was a really beautiful process for me. And what I did is I started this business and it kind of evolved, okay? So when I first started in entrepreneurship, my first couple of attempts didn't go anywhere. A couple of them failed really badly. A couple of them went okay. But really, I found my niche when I decided to become a She's Creating an Empire coach, because the thing that really changed my life, the things that really affected me, was being connected to Melanie, was being connected to people who had access to information that could change things for me. And so that's what I want for you. I want you to get into an environment where chains can break, where your eyes can be open to what's possible, where you can't possibly look at one stream of income where you're trading time for money as an option anymore, because that's just not robots are going to replace us. Okay. Okay. It's so crazy. So for me, when I said, wait a second, someone's going to pay me to help people get access to the stuff that changed my life, game over. And I've seen people do this in network marketing, and seen them do it in coaching. I've seen them do it in sales, right? You fall in love with a product. My favorite product, personal development coaching for Melanie Greenough. So the fact that I get paid to do that is pretty beautiful. And what happened for me is this evolution was very organic. It was like, okay, I was just kind of doing the next thing, and then doing the next thing, and then doing the next thing. And then at some point, it became hard for me to reach my goals. I was going to have to change in 2023 if I was going to get different results. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this. This happened in my fitness life. I had to start identifying as an athlete. And I was like, well, athletes just wake up and go to the gym. You have to just wake up and go to the gym. And I started identifying as a coach. And I started really, looking at these goals that I had in 2022, some of which I hit, and some of which I didn't. And I was like, okay, if that goal is still important to you, you have to really figure out what's going to make you do it. Because it's not a lack of access anymore. It's not a lack of skill set anymore. It's a lack of doing something you're not doing, something you're not believing, something you're not working hard enough at. I just didn't know. So I went through this journey of asking myself what my options were. And I want to share this question line with you, because it really has helped change everything in my branding and business. Okay. So what I said is, if not this, then what? And when you ask yourself the idea, okay, maybe you're avoiding social media, maybe you're avoiding starting your online business, or maybe it's just not growing, or you're not giving it the time or attention, or maybe you take, 3 steps in the right direction, you get a little bit of success, and then you're like, no, wait, I'm uncomfortable. Because what happens, yeah, seriously, Lois, it's so true. It's happening. I saw robots do manicures, they're doing an entirely AI-based McDonald's in, I forget where, but there's not a human in the building. Jobs are being replaced, and there are certain things that we can do as humans that only humans can do. Listen, care, connect, love, encourage, challenge, be there for them. And that's why I love coaching, because I don't think it's going anywhere. Texas, that's where it was. That's so crazy. And so what happened for me is I was like, okay, if I'm not going to build an online brand, if I'm not going to be a coach, if I'm not going to be a network marketer, if I'm not going to do those things, what else are my options? And I looked at what kind of jobs I would qualify for. I looked at what kind of ideas for career path I could take. And I looked at the long-term ramifications of that, right? If I have a job, I'm going to be working how many hours, in what kind of environment, with what kind of people, making how much money, and even if the money was amazing, what's the timeline I'm on that? And there's quite a few options to make 6 figures, but I wanted to make 7. So could that even be a possibility? Also, what's my retirement timeline? What's my lifestyle like? And I realized that all my other options didn't get me the time freedom, to be able to stay home with my babies, to be able to say yes to my friend's birthday because it's a Tuesday, to be able to, just live life on my terms, go on vacation until I'm done and catch plane tickets and take my business with me. So if there was nothing else that could get me the lifestyle and the results I wanted, that was really powerful. And sometimes, and it's funny, I've seen people say this about building a brand especially, but some other online skills as well, is they're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to like that. I was like, I literally don't care if I like it. I care that it gets me what I want. And so social media is kind of this necessary evil, but it's such a blessing when you can use it instead of have it use you. And so I realized that there's so much more to, do I like the mechanics of it? The mechanics are fun. Once you kind of get into a rhythm with social media, it's not too bad. But really, what is the outcome of doing something different? What happens if my job lays me off? What happens if my husband says, hey, I want you to go back to work. Your maternity leave is over and we can't afford a single income household? What happens if, like, my mom was in a car accident at 45 years old and she could never work again? Well, what is she going to do? So for me, I was like, wait a second, what if I can't work that long? What if I can't work that hard? What if I can't stay home with my babies because of whatever decision the person I marry is saying? And so it just brought up all of this stuff. I want this life where I can say yes, life where I can enjoy, a life where I can explore and do it on my own terms, and not just explore on Saturdays and Sundays, I want to live in Europe for months on end and just experience it. I want to live in Latin America for months on end and experience it. I want to see places in the world that most people never get to see. I have to go on a safari. I cannot wait to see the giraffes. So if I want to live an uncommon life, I often am going to have to create an uncommon lifestyle. So looking at online business, I was like, okay, so if online business is the only way I can do it, then I said, okay, you have two options with online businesses. You can work on the back end or the front end. The back end, you can create other people's content. You can, I don't know what else you can do. Data entry. I was like, none of that appeals to me and it doesn't pay that great. So I'm going to be working with the people. And if I'm working with the people, the more people I can contact, the more people I can help. And anytime you move a product or a service, you're helping somebody, right? You're solving a problem in the marketplace. That's why sales is one of my favorite industries and skill sets to develop, is because it's really just serving people. It's really just helping. If you guys have been to a restaurant where you have a server that knows the menu inside and out, knows which things go really good with what, and you're like, oh my gosh, if you get that pasta, you have to get this glass of wine. And this starter will just, you're gonna love it. And then it executes and it does that. And it's such a better experience than the server who's like, well, this is on special, right? So being a professional salesperson, being a professional marketer, you're solving people's problems and you're doing it even better than they expected. And so I was like, okay, so I'm going to solve people's problems. I'm going to go help people. And I know I need a brand for that, but what do I want to help people with? And then I looked at my other choices. I looked at, what are those jobs? What are those retirement plans? What are those lifestyles? What are those other options for me? And those other options are truthfully kind of depressing. They're not exciting. They don't get me out of bed. It would be very much a tedious process to live that experience. And so then I realized the people that don't know about She's Creating an Empire, that don't know about Melanie, that don't know how to build a brand, that's their reality right now. And so the fact that the thing that I don't want is what other people are living and they also don't want, made me realize that there's people out there that need my voice, that need me to be bold, that need me to say, follow me. I can give you the instructions. I can give you the next steps. I can give you the mentors. I can give you the tools. You just need to do it. And that's all I needed when I started. I was like, just tell me what to do and I'll freaking do it. And Mel's like, okay, go here, do this. And I was like, I don't want to do that. She's like, do you want the thing? I was like, I do want the thing. She's like, then here's the instructions. So then I followed the instructions and I was able to get, in terms of results, I did very well in December. I'm not sure what kind of details you want me to give there, Mel, but personally, I had a record-breaking month in my personal coaching business, been able to help other people increase. I had one lady make, one of the coaches I was working with, she did more in sales and commissionable volume in December than she had in all of 2022. And so it's not just about me, it's about the whole group. All these coaches are winning, and we finally have a system and tools and all of these things to be able to do it because She's Creating an Empire coaches. And so, the Momentum Group taught me how. The coach certification gave me the vehicle to capitalize and move the services I want to move. And it's just been such a fun journey. So I think I answered the questions right now.
100%. And I think what's really notable is that both Jen and I feel the same way, right? We can go do what we're doing and make the money we're making, but that's not the goal. The goal is for us to have an entire community of women. She's creating an empire. We want for women to be able to really get out there and build something special that the masses call impossible. And we can do it together, make no mistake. So I'm really excited. And that coach she was talking about, I believe, was Sydney. Sydney crushed it in December. So that's very cool. Guys, what we want is to see you learn how to generate leads and turn those leads into paying customers in a way that's authentic and true to you. So if you are ready to hit 10K in whatever business you have, if you want to learn how to make 6 figures a year, I want you to drop 10K in the chat, because I think it's really notable that women do want that. They just don't know how to get it. So I'm going to jump back in quickly and go to a couple of things that you can do. You want to connect to your purpose, like Shanda just talked about, right? She got really clear on, if I don't help them, who will? And I've just learned to do this thing. So first we learn, then we do, then we teach. That's the rhythm: learn, do, teach, right? We can't teach something we don't know how to do. So we want to make sure that we are learning so we can do, and then we can teach. Now, defining your sales funnel to start with, as a brand new want to be entrepreneur or entrepreneur, you've already started, you want to define your sales funnel. That may be like an actual ClickFunnels, but I'm talking about your sales funnel, like the funnel that we saw on the first page of this slideshow. What outcome do you want? When they get to that bottom of that funnel and they're loyal and they're on fire for your brand and they're telling everybody, what is the outcome? What results do you want them to have? What steps do your clients need to get there? What questions do you need to ask to move them towards the decision of saying yes, yes, yes? And what objections are they going to come up with? So you go ahead and screenshot this if you don't have it. But I really want for you to understand that these things, when you define these things, sales becomes very easy, because you're no longer trying to sell them something they don't want. You're literally just giving them what they need and answering the question of what they want, and they want to then buy from you. So we know that in business, new blood is the lifeblood, period. If you don't have new people in your business, no matter if it's coaching, network marketing, consulting, service-based, real estate, if you don't know, because think about it, real estate agent, you have a client, you list their house, you sell their house, you're out of a job. Like, you have to have a consistent stream of leads coming in that become prospects and then clients for you to keep your income where you want it to be. Now, you want to get the leads, you want to ask for referrals, and who do you know that needs the thing you're selling? That's the big question. Who do you know that needs the thing that you're selling? I will warn you, as you step out to build your business, as you step out to build your brand, people are going to mock you. They're going to criticize you. They're going to hurt you. That is why you must begin with the end in mind. You really need to know why you're doing this, because as people come up against you, and by the way, you think it's tough in the beginning, wait till you start making 6 figures, 7 figures, or maybe you're going from 7 to 8 figures. The heat's going to just get turned up on you. You don't think that the Ed Milets of the world, or the top coaches in the world, the Tony Robbins, the Grant Cardone, you want to see what people say about Grant Cardone, you think it's all good. It is not all good. And that dude's doing some really cool stuff. But you're always going to have haters. That's the point. You're always going to have people, sometimes friends and family, that will mock and criticize you, like Greg and I have, or you'll have haters in the public like Greg and I have. You'll have people that were friends that turn their back on you. This stuff's going to happen. But we know where we're going. We know what we're building, and we know why we're building it. I'm not going to let someone's, attitude dictate whether I deliver my mission into the world and set you free. No. If they don't like what I'm doing, don't look. Like, literally click off, go away. I don't need you. Bye, unfriend me. I don't care. So we really have to get to that place inside of ourselves where we're bold enough to take action towards the thing that we truly say we want. And that's a big part of what we do in She's Creating an Empire. Now, here's your action steps for generating 100 leads in 5 days. This will actually generate more than 100 leads, just FYI. We have people generating 300, 400, 500 leads. I know Shanda has leads for a lifetime, literally. So here's a couple things you can do. You can add 10 friends and delete 10 friends. Get the people off your page that aren't adding value. Get rid of them. Unfollow people that don't add value. Get rid of those friends on Facebook that don't add value. If you think Facebook is dead, do not be confused. It is. I love it. People are always like, isn't Facebook dead? I'm like, well, I don't think so. There's people generating millions of dollars every single day. Like I know people that do $100,000 a day. I know people who have done $600,000 a day on Facebook. Nope, not dead, right? So get rid of your friends, add 10 new friends, connect and compliment, add them to your leads list. Then you can follow on Instagram and TikTok, follow 10 new people. You want to reach out to them and say, hey, I just clicked follow on your profile. I absolutely love your message or this or that, and be genuine. Make sure you go and make a comment, heart something on their thing, make it genuine. Do not connect people that you wouldn't be friends with in real life, okay? So, but you want to add 10 new people, reach out to them in the DMs, connect with them and just say, hey, like I just saw your profile. I absolutely love that you were talking about this, or I love the picture of your kids or whatever. Where are you from? What do you do, right? And if you guys don't know how to form people or do the Lords, you can go to no, you can't do that. I was going to say you can go to the blog, but the blog right now is down. It's going back up. You can go to the YouTube channel, I'm sure, and find that training. Now, you also want to go through birthdays and memories, especially on Facebook. Here's why. I have 50 or 60 birthday notifications a day. I jump in there and I say, hey, Elizabeth, long time no talk, or how did we first get connected? I see you have a birthday coming up. I'd absolutely, love to know, are you doing anything special for your birthday? Just a quick message. They'll respond. I'll say, oh, that's amazing. What are you doing now? Where are you living? I'd love to send you a little gift. And I send a birthday card, right? You don't have to do that, but you can start the conversation by saying, hey, I see you have a birthday coming up, or I see you just had a birthday. Did you do anything special for your birthday? Now, you can do that 10, 20, 30 times a day and generate leads all day long, literally all day long. People want to chat with you. They want to connect. If they don't respond and you message them again and say, hey, did you get my message? And they still don't respond, get them off your Facebook. Listen, all those dead friends, they're not doing you a stick of good. I mean, like literally, they're hurting your algorithm. So another thing that I'll do is I'll just say, hey guys, in my feed, hey guys, I'm about to clean up my friends list. If you don't comment below, you're going to be gone. Here's why. I need to make room for more friends. And then people will comment and that'll drive up your algorithm. But actually, if they don't respond, then I don't feel bad about deleting them. Okay. So that's some instructions for generating 100 leads in just 5 days. If you just did birthdays and memories, you're literally going to come up with probably 10 to 15 leads a day. And then you add in the 10 new friends on Facebook and Instagram or TikTok. That is going to generate the other leads that you need for 100 leads in 5 days. Now, I know that a lot of you, some of you actually have just gotten started with our holiday bundle. So you became a certified coach. You joined the Momentum group. Some of you are in the CEO business school. Some of you haven't done any of that. If you have not joined any of our programs yet, here is your chance to get a 100K strategy call with the magical Shanda Wright. She's going to map out your ascension to 100K. If you're already in the Momentum group, the CEO school, or a certified coach, do not book this call. This is not for you. You have calls that you get with your purchases that are separate from this. This is for anybody who's like, I don't know how to get to 100K. I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't joined the Momentum group. I haven't joined the CEO school. I'm not a certified coach. I'm not in the fight, whatever it is. You guys, this call is for you. So we're going to put the link on the slide here so you guys can see it on the screen, and we'll also drop it in the chat. But you can go ahead and book that with Shanda, and she's just going to have a quick chat with you. It'll take probably less than 20 minutes. She'll figure out, what your next best step is, what you can do to take action, how to get to that 100K, and understand that this really is the year of ascension. We are going to help women elevate their lives. If you haven't got to 5 figures, let's get you there. If you haven't got to 6 figures, let's get you there. If you haven't got to 7 figures and you're already at 6, let's go. This is what we do. So I want you guys to know that we are going to be starting with a very special program, like literally right away, the Online Income Accelerator, which was the Financial Fitness Academy, but it's switching into Online Income Accelerator, is going to be starting towards the end of January. If you have not been through that program or purchased one of our other programs, you're going to want to book that strategy call to make sure you get yourself enrolled. It's going to be a very special moment because we're launching our inaugural program with this course, and it really is designed to help you accelerate your income online in 60 days or less. So thank you for being here, guys. We went a little long today, but we're so grateful. We wanted to give you the value that you needed to really step into that authority, that that ascension to six figures is not just, it doesn't just happen. You have to take certain actions in a certain time frame with a certain set of kind of rules around them to be able to recreate and create your success over and over and over again. So with that, book a strategy call. If you want a strategy call, go ahead and drop strategy call in the chat. And one of our team will reach out to you, but also please just go get the link, get yourself booked in, and we will be here same time next week with another free event to help you build a business, brand, and bank account that you love. Melanie Greenough signing off. We'll talk soon, okay? Bye for now.